Hello friends, this video is about how to build a transparent kayak using fir tree branches and packing plastic wrap. The idea is simple. You can build a fully functional kayak in the wilderness if you have a knife, plastic wrap and scotch tape. It weighs less than 10 pounds, 4 kilos, is absolutely waterproof and will cost you only a few dollars in materials. Takes about a day to make it. With the vessel being transparent, your kayaking experience will be even more exciting and fun. You can actually see the bottom as well as fish that swim under you. Fishing in my transparent kayak is an experience in itself. My kayak is so light that I can easily hold it with my arm extended out. Yet the frame and plastic skin are still strong enough against blunt force. I've tried both a 1- and 2-person kayak modification of the same frame by installing an extra cockpit. I came to the conclusion that the 2-person model should be made longer than what you see in this video. You might have seen a video published earlier in this channel about my tarp kayak made of fir branches and a green tarp. I was very happy with its design and quality. However, it has a few weak points compared to my plastic wrap kayak. It is more expensive and harder to fix a leak if you hit an underwater rock. My transparent kayak is virtually free and you can easily fix its skin with regular scotch tape. It adheres to plastic wrap and creates a waterproof barrier, much better than the tarp. This kayak was my first experience in designing a branch frame kayak, and my following designs were noticeably better. My first kayak that you're looking at now is too tall, and it has higher windage than I would prefer. High windage of a vessel can be an issue under high winds that are common here at Ladoga Lake. The next frame will be lower. You can see that the plastic wrap squashed the frame a bit and the kayak's ribs and stringers somewhat protrude. Adding 2 ribs into this design will fix the problem. The frame will be more streamlined and the kayak will have less drag. The most time-consuming part in building a transparent kayak is making its frame. It only takes a few minutes to put on the plastic wrap skin. I've already showed how to make the branch frame in a previous kayak making video and will leave a link to it in this video's description. I will only briefly go over the process here. My kayak's frame is made of bent fir tree branches and wooden planks. It consists of 2 oval frame ribs, a number of round ribs, and 8 stringers. I experimented with different types of wood and found fir branches to be ideal for making bent ribs. Such ribs are lightweight and durable. The debarked branch will dry out and hold its shape in just 1 day. The next step is to find a good material for the hull's stringers. I found a naturally falling and splintered fir tree and used its planks. Such nature-created planks are extremely strong because the grain of the wood follows the plank as opposed to being partially severed by a saw cut. These planks are almost as strong and light as carbon fiber. To make a cockpit rib, I wrapped it around my fire-carved stools that you might have seen in my previous video and left the branch to dry for 1 day. As you can see, I have a lifelong supply of planks for making stringers. I left my kayak without the skin hanging on a tree. When I come back here and need my kayak, it will only take 10 minutes to put new plastic wrap onto the frame. I was able to wrap 3 kayaks using only a quarter of the roll of plastic wrap. The remaining 3/4 of the roll was used to wrap my plastic dome. I want to make note, this plastic wrap is used industrially, which means it is wider and thicker than standard household plastic wrap. The main idea of this project is that you could build your kayak within 1 day if you're hiking in the wilderness and come upon a body of water you wish to travel. This homemade kayak will be comparable to the capabilities of a commercial kayak. I found it comfortable to suspend the frame up to chest height while wrapping the kayak. Each time you wrap the plastic around, apply a mild tug to tighten the skin around the frame. When the layers are tightly wound, they will adhere and seal to each other without the need for any glue. Doing this task with a partner would greatly simplify this process. From my experience, I have only needed to apply 3 layers of plastic wrap to make it waterproof. I then reinforced the protruding stringers with Scotch tape to add durability and a waterproof seal. I built my first branch-framed kayaks back in 2015, and here are my first designs. Since then, I have designed and built over 10 kayaks using this approach, and each one has been better than the last. If you want to learn more about my kayaks designs, you can find additional information such as articles, pictures, and detailed plans of the kayaks on my Instagram page. The link to it is in the description below. I can tell you, this type of kayak only requires 1 day to build, and the experience is very gratifying. I keep my kayaks fully assembled inside my log cabin during the winter. If you don't have a reliable storage, I recommend to take the kayak skin off and hang the frame on the tree so that it doesn't rot. In 2017, I built a catamaran from 2 kayaks, one made from tarp and one made from plastic wrap. On this catamaran, you can both paddle and sail. I'm planning to publish a video about my sailing cat made of 2 fuselage kayaks and about my transform catamaran that is made of 4 waterproof inflatable carrying bags. Please write it down in the comment section if this topic is in fact interesting for you. This year, I made a composite kayak that has a plastic wrap skin reinforced with fabric and epoxy resin. Not only does it look aesthetically pleasing, but it is also much stronger against battering and tearing. Note, this frame is one of my later designs. It is lower, so the windage is lower, and it has more elements to make the kayak's shape more streamlined after you apply the plastic wrap skin on it. Upon further experimentation, I added a layer of fiberglass on top of the fabric, which made the kayak even stronger. Unfortunately, this came at the expense of adding significant weight to the kayak. With the dense foliage along the leg's bank, it would be hard to navigate around with the kayak on my shoulder without banging it around and piercing the plastic skin. However, the composite kayak, reinforced with fabric and fiberglass, was resilient enough to endure all banging and scratching on my walks along rough terrain. I even tried to pedal it over rocks to test its composite skin and was quite happy with the test results. The good news is that you can try the plastic wrap model first and upgrade it to the polymer modification later, if needed. It can be done right over the old skin. Adding the fiberglass layer made the kayak skin rigid and even more durable. If there is an interest in my audience, I will make a separate video about how to make a kayak with composite skin. I will share my mistakes and experience in it. The best way to thank the creator is to click the share button. I appreciate your support. Let good people watch good videos. This is Max Egorov, St. Petersburg, Russia. P.S. If you haven't seen my other videos about my log cabin, plastic wrap dome, fire-carved furniture, or other bushcraft projects, I invite you to watch them. I think they would be interesting for you. P.P.S. In this drone's footage, you are looking at the Russian forest about 200 miles north of St. Petersburg. You can see a lot of trees that were downed by a severe storm a few years back